And I'm back. What I got here today is I've discovered a leak. I've discovered a leak on my engine, and how I noticed it was I was underneath the other day and I was changing an engine mount. And if you want to see engine mounts being changed on this 2001 Volvo V70, you can look up there at the top of the screen right there, and I put a link to that video changing the lower engine mount and changing this one over here. But when I was under there, I noticed a bunch of oil on the bottom of the engine. And I thought it was engine oil. And I was looking all over here yesterday for a leak, trying to figure it out. Now I looked down in here between around the belt train here on this side, around the alternator, and it's soaking wet. And so I figured it must be power steering fluid. So I checked the level, and the level was below the stick. It's off the stick, see? But there was still some in the reservoir. And so what I did was I took this out. You know, these just lift out like this. And I wiped it all off. And I took the car for a short drive. And sure enough, it was soaking wet on the seam right here. And down in the crack between the engine and the reservoir. So what's happened is this reservoir has developed a leak on the seam. They're a split design. So what I've done is I've got another one. I happen to have a source on a second one, and this is a known non-leaking reservoir. So I'm going to swap that into here, clean it up first, and then clean up that gear train with some brake cleaner and wipe it off, and put some new fluid in here, and hopefully we're back in business. So how these reservoirs come out, there's usually a clip right here that goes down on the coolant reservoir. This one happens to be broken off, so just as well I'm changing it. But they lift straight out like that. And there's a couple of channels down here, see here, right here and here, that sit in against the reservoir down here. There's two slides for it. So that just pops out like that, okay? And then there's just a hose connection here, and then you know, if you disconnect it right at the reservoir, there's a hose connection here, but then this other one's coming with a hose that goes right around here. It's the suction line for the power steering pump right here. So I'm going to change it that way. I'm going to just disconnect it here and over there and pull the whole thing out. Okay, so before I disconnect those hoses, I'm going to put a couple of rags down in here, catch any drips. Okay, so bring that up above the level of the reservoir. Okay. Got that out of there. Okay, so here's the one I just took out. And here's the replacement. Brake cleaner. Wipe that off. And before I put the reservoir back in, I'm going to clean that power steering fluid off of this belt train here. It was all down in here. So I'm going to give it a spray with some brake cleaner. And clean that off a bit. Okay, so here's the replacement reservoir. I'm going to put this hose down on the pump right here. That. Okay. And the hose tucks in right here. And that clip. So I'm gonna cut a 1/2 inch or so. Just gonna cut that bad end off the hose. This is straight. Okay, we're gonna put that hose on the reservoir. Push it all the way home. We'll tighten that clip in a minute. And you see these, where the reservoir slides down on here, like that. Okay, let's get our clamps on. There, nice and snug. Now we're ready for some power steering fluid. Okay, now we're going to fill it up to the proper level with the approved power steering fluid. This particular brand is recommended for European vehicles and other things, BMW and Volvo here at the bottom. Where the cold mark is right here. So now what we're going to do is, after we filled it to the right level, is we're going to start the engine, run it, cycle the steering back and forth, left and right, and then turn it off and let it settle and check the level again, and then top up as necessary. Okay, I don't see any leaks here at the pump. And that's the return line. See if this is cycling in here. It's moving along. Okay, so I ran the engine for about 10 minutes or so, warmed it up, and turned it off, and I'll let this sit for equal number of minutes. Check the level, and the level's up on the stick to about here, which is good for now, and we'll keep an eye on it. But what I'm going to do in the near future is flush this system, and that'll be another video, so look for that here on the channel. And so what I'm going to do to wrap up, I'm just going to wipe off any more power steering fluid that had accumulated down in here and underneath. So I'm just going to wipe that off with a rag, and yeah, that looks good. It's a good fix for that problem. Anyway, thanks for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you again here real soon on Everyday Projects. Don't forget to thumbs up me and make a comment down below. Thanks for watching.